High above the neon-lit streets of San Francisco, a hush of anticipation coursed through the lavish penthouse of Zephyr Technologies' legendary CEO, Logan Pierce. Known for his billion-dollar startup deals and reclusive personal life, Logan rarely made headlines outside business, but tonight he'd orchestrated an arrangement that baffled even his closest colleagues. He hired a penniless young woman, Rachel Morales, to pose as his girlfriend for an elite corporate dinner. Few suspected that behind this bizarre contract lay deeper motivations, and that when Rachel opened her mouth to speak at the evening's grand event, her words would ignite a cascade of revelations, shocking everyone in the room. Rachel Morales never imagined she'd be summoned to the sleek offices of Pierce Innovations, the tech empire rumored to rival major players like Google and Apple. She was, by all accounts, just another face among many job seekers in San Francisco, scraping by with sporadic gigs, waitressing, dog-walking, housekeeping, to pay rent in her run-down corner of Mission District. Yet here she sat in a glass-walled conference room on the 45th floor, heart pounding, unsure why she'd been called. Then in strode Logan Pierce, the CEO, whose quiet demeanor belied a razor-sharp mind. He was flanked by an assistant, Iris Cheng, who opened a file thick with papers. Logan regarded Rachel calmly. "I'm sure you're wondering why you're here," he began in a measured tone. She nodded, recalling she'd once submitted an application for an entry-level position, but never heard back. Logan cut to the chase. "I need a companion for a high-profile corporate dinner next week. I want to hire you under a contract to pose as my girlfriend. The pay is substantial. In exchange, you'll attend an exclusive event with me and follow certain guidelines." Rachel blinked, stunned. This was no typical job offer. "Why me?" she asked, voice trembling. Logan's stoic expression revealed little. "We ran background checks. You're discreet, reliable, and you need the money." Her cheeks burned at the blunt mention of her financial desperation. She swallowed, grappling with a swirl of confusion and uneasy excitement. The pay figure Iris mentioned was more than she'd make in years. She exhaled. "I guess I'm interested. But this is so unusual." Logan nodded, unflappable. "It is. But let's say it's a transaction that benefits us both." Rachel, goosebumps prickling her arms, realized she was stepping into a world far beyond her comfort zone. Back in that lofty conference room, Iris Cheng slid a thick contract across the glass table. Pages outlined the specifics. Rachel would accompany Mr. Pierce to the annual Morgan and Adler corporate dinner, acting as his date. She'd adhere to a provided wardrobe, follow certain etiquette guidelines, and maintain absolute discretion about their arrangement. Payment included an advance to cover immediate needs, plus a larger sum after the event. The contract read like a carefully orchestrated performance. Rachel's mind whirled. She was no stranger to scraping by, but this... She worried about moral implications. Was it an escort scenario, a scandalous cover-up? Sensing her hesitation, Logan explained in measured words, "I don't want a media frenzy over whom I date. This dinner is critical to a new project's success. We can't risk misguided rumors overshadowing real business. Let them see I have a stable partner," and the vultures calmed down. His pragmatic, almost clinical approach unsettled her. But the pay was life-changing enough to pay off debts and rescue her ill father in Tijuana from mounting medical bills. With trembling hands, she signed. "All right," she whispered. "I'll do it." Iris escorted her out, handing her a card. "We'll schedule a fitting and prep session. Mr. Pierce expects your professionalism." That evening, Rachel walked home, feeling as though she'd woken in a parallel universe. She'd just agreed to be a fake girlfriend for a reclusive millionaire, all for a dinner. Part of her rationalized that it was a professional arrangement, like an actor playing a role. Another part nagged at her. What if something goes wrong? Still no job had ever offered such a lifeline. She promised herself she'd hold her dignity, do the job, and vanish with the money. She had no clue a single dinner could unravel far bigger secrets and personal truths than she'd ever dreamed. 2 days later, Rachel found herself in a posh boutique on Union Square, dwarfed by mirrored walls and racks of designer gowns. Iris supervised a personal stylist who produced elegant dresses, heels, and accessories that cost more than Rachel's yearly rent. She tried on each piece, feeling simultaneously awestruck and uneasy. The reflection in the mirror showed a refined, sophisticated woman, one she barely recognized. Iris was efficient, explaining which outfit to wear for the dinner. "Keep your hair in a sleek updo, minimal jewelry," she advised. "Logan's style is understated. We want cohesive aesthetics." Rachel found the entire script-like approach disconcerting. Yet she complied, reminding herself this job was purely transactional. At her small apartment that night, she told her roommate Vanessa only that she'd be helping at a corporate event. She dared not reveal the entire truth, not wanting to jinx or invite judgment. Vanessa teased her about the glamorous new clothes. Rachel forced a smile, her stomach knotted with nerves. She spent hours practicing posture and table etiquette, gleaned from online videos, hoping to avoid embarrassing herself at the event. Meanwhile, at his private penthouse in Somma, Logan half regretted the arrangement. He wondered if picking a total outsider was wise. But logic insisted an unknown face was better than a socialite with her own agenda. If Rachel could remain calm, they'd avoid tabloids rummaging. One dinner and done, he reassured himself. Yet a nagging voice asked, "What if she's more than she seems?" Thus the stage was set for a high-stakes dinner, where illusions and truths would collide. Neither Logan nor Rachel fully grasped how this act might pivot them into a swirl of drama and self-discovery. On the designated evening, a sleek black limo collected Rachel from her modest apartment. She stepped inside, wearing the chosen navy blue gown hair, elegantly pinned a subtle diamond pendant shimmering at her throat, all courtesy of Logan's plan. Her heart pounded with each mile closer to the venue. A plush banquet hall in San Francisco's Ferry Building, reserved for the Morgan and Adler corporate dinner. High-level execs, bankers, and local politicians were rumored to attend, eager for a glimpse of the reclusive Logan Pierce's next big reveal. She arrived to find Logan already waiting outside the venue's polished marble entrance, flanked by event staff checking in VIPs. He wore a tailored charcoal suit, face unreadable. As she approached, he offered a polite nod. "Shall we?" Her mouth felt dry. She tucked a stray hair behind her ear. "Yes." He escorted her in hand lightly at her back. Cameras flashed, capturing them. The hush among onlookers signaled curiosity. "Who's that woman with Logan Pierce?" Inside a hush of hushed chatter and the clink of champagne glasses greeted them. The decor was lavish, tall floral centerpieces and swirling patterns of light dancing on the walls. Logan introduced Rachel to a few peers with minimal words. "This is Rachel, accompanying me tonight." Some raised eyebrows. Others offered polite good evening. Rachel, recalling her script, gave a demure smile, letting Logan's presence overshadow her. Her tension spiked upon glimpsing the throng of influential power brokers. Just smile, remain polite. Let him handle the business talk, she told herself. Yet destiny had other plans, Ishundons. Her voice would soon ring out, in a moment, that no one least of all, Logan, anticipated. As the dinner commenced, rows of tables lined the room, each place setting adorned with gilded name cards. Logan guided Rachel to seats at the head table, flanked by key Morgan and Adler executives and a handful of city officials. Warm soups arrived, followed by a hush of small talk about investment climates and upcoming city developments. The hum of polite conversation bore attention, as though everyone was awaiting a major announcement from Logan. Rachel perched quietly, focusing on her table manners, aware of sidelong glances from the CFO, the mayor's aide, and various attorneys. She noticed Colton Mallory, a bold venture capitalist, repeatedly casting skeptical looks her way. The undercurrent was clear. What is the reclusive tech tycoon doing with this unknown woman during the salad course? Colton finally addressed Rachel. "I'm sorry I didn't catch your last name," she carefully responded. "Morales," he nodded, voice dripping with curiosity. "How did you two meet?" Logan stiffened. Rachel recited the pre-arranged line about meeting through a mutual connection. Colton pressed further. "And your background in tech is—" She paused, swallowing. She had no background in tech. Logan intercepted. "She's not from the industry, but she's an invaluable personal confidant." An uneasy hush followed some, suspecting a forced narrative. Rachel's cheeks burned. She recognized the precariousness of her position. Any slip might reveal the truth that she was just a hired stand-in. Anxiety pooled in her chest. Meanwhile, she glimpsed a flicker of frustration in Logan's eyes, as if he resented the prying. She wondered how long they could maintain the facade. Dinner progressed, culminating in a moment that would push her beyond her quiet corner into center stage. For as dessert arrived, an executive casually asked Rachel for her thoughts on emergent AI ethics. The mere question spelled trouble, yet ironically, it was the spark that catapulted her from silent onlooker to an unexpected star. At first, Rachel froze, mind blank. She'd expected to keep her head down. But the question hung in the air, pointedly. "Ms. Morales, what's your stance on artificial intelligence shaping job markets?" The entire table turned to her with curiosity or skepticism. Logan braced to interject, but something in Rachel's chest stirred a rebellious spark. She realized she'd gleaned a surprising amount from overhearing Logan's phone calls, reading scattered articles on his coffee table, absorbing knowledge about AI's impact. Summoning an inner composure, she spoke calmly yet with a passion that revealed genuine thought. She mentioned the potential for AI to improve efficiency, but also displace workers, highlighting the need for retraining programs and ethical oversight. Her words, though simpler than a seasoned expert's, carried empathy and insight. A hush fell. The CFO blinked, then said, "That's quite on point." Another city official nodded. Their interest piqued. Rachel continued referencing how mid-level jobs might vanish, if not restructured. She even cited a real example from reading a white paper left over in the penthouse. Her sincerity glowed, overshadowing any forced or stilted veneer. When she finished, a wave of quiet applause rippled. Even Colton Mallory gave a grudging nod of approval. Logan for once looked openly stunned. He hadn't realized she'd listened that intently, nor that her innate intelligence would shine so bright. The entire table's dynamic shifted from prying suspicion to genuine respect. Some guests asked follow-ups. Rachel fielded them modestly, disclaiming she was no expert, but that people's livelihoods matter. As the conversation resumed, the mood lightened curiosity, replacing cynicism. In that moment, Rachel realized her contract might be a charade, but the mind and heart she brought were real. The dramatic turn of the dinner was just beginning. Other revelations about trust ambition and unexpected bonds loomed near. While the dinner concluded on a surprisingly positive note, not everyone was charmed. A few watchful eyes gleaned that Rachel's polished commentary might conceal an unspoken backstory. No typical girlfriend leaps from silence to well-informed debate unless there's more to it. Colton Mallory especially found it suspect, noticing her initial discomfort. He quietly instructed a subordinate to investigate Rachel's background. Meanwhile, Logan escorted Rachel to the after-dinner mingling area, where cocktails and casual conversation continued. Some attendees approached her genuinely curious about her perspective. She humbly deflected praise, repeating that she'd gleaned knowledge from reading. Inwardly, she marveled at how quickly they accepted her. Only hours prior, they dismissed her. The transformation was dizzying, but tension brewed within Logan. While he was proud of her performance, he also recognized their arrangement was precarious. If the truth emerged that he'd hired her, critics might brand him a manipulator or overshadow her accomplishments as just a paid actress. He sensed glances from those suspecting something off. As the evening wound down, he and Rachel made a quiet exit, parting from well-wishers with polite smiles. In the limo back to her apartment, a hush fell between them. She finally asked, "Did I do okay? I hope I didn't overstep." He exhaled. "You were brilliant, far beyond what I expected." "Thank you." A flicker of warmth passed between them, overshadowed by a swirl of unspoken tension about the contract's nature. Rachel felt both triumphant and uneasy had she proven too capable, risking deeper entanglement with Logan or the public eye. One thing was certain, the night's success overshadowed their original plan. The facade had ignited genuine interest in Rachel and forced Logan to confront the possibility that this fake girlfriend had become a real partner in more ways than one. Waking the next day, Rachel found her phone buzzing with messages, a few from old friends who recognized her face in event photos posted on social media by attendees. Jokes about Rachel Morales with that big tech CEO explain yourself. She swallowed, uncertain how to respond. Meanwhile, a local online business blog singled her out in an article titled "Mystery Woman, at Pierce's Side, Knowledgeable or Just Window Dressing." The piece was half skeptical, half impressed. She realized anonymity was slipping away. She dialed Logan, hoping to clarify next steps. Instead, she got Iris Cheng. The assistant said Logan was in back-to-back meetings but wanted Rachel to come by the penthouse in the afternoon for a chat. Anxiety pricked at her. Perhaps he'd terminate the arrangement now that the dinner was over, or maybe he had a new plan to quell rumors. She steeled herself. Arriving at the penthouse, she found Logan seated in the sleek living area, phone pressed to his ear. He ended the call abruptly. "Rachel, thanks for coming," he said, voice subdued. He offered water, then paces near the floor-to-ceiling windows. "Last night went better than expected," he began. "But now we face PR speculation. Some suspect we faked your relationship to impress Morgan and Adler." He sighed. "Which we did. But I want to handle it carefully. I also realize your potential is wasted if you vanish from my life." Her heart fluttered at that last statement, though she tried to keep composure. "So you want me to remain your public girlfriend longer?" She half laughed, half worried. He paused, uncertain. "We can shape the narrative that we're seeing each other seriously, but not forcibly. If you're comfortable." That question sparked a new realm of possibilities. This arrangement was morphing into something deeper or more complicated. She had to decide if she'd continue the charade or claim her own path. Rachel needed time to think. She left the penthouse mind-spinning with the notion of a longer fake relationship. The pay was generous, but so were the risks. She saw a real chance to expand her horizons, maybe even pivot into a corporate role. Logan had shown some faith in her. Yet living a lie, enduring speculation about whether she was just a paid girlfriend, felt morally draining. Meanwhile, a looming complication emerged. Colton Mallory's private investigation uncovered that Rachel was once a waitress in the Mission, not from any recognized academic background. He suspected this rags to Redwood story might be orchestrated. He fed the story to a business gossip site. Within hours, a scathing article appeared: Tech Titan's mystery woman, real talent, or just a hired face. It implied Logan might have hired an actress or escort to elevate his brand. Within hours, the article trended on social media. Angry readers and cynics commented about exploiting the poor for pure. Others admired it as a Cinderella story. Logan's phone blew up with calls from PR advisors urging him to respond. He felt cornered. The discreet arrangement was no longer discreet. He texted Rachel, "We need to meet again. Urgent." At the same moment, in her modest apartment, Rachel read the peace cheeks, flushing with mortification. They uncovered partial truths, her waitressing financial struggles, but also twisted it with insinuations of a shady escort dynamic. Everything I feared, she thought. She dreaded the next conversation with Logan, uncertain whether to keep playing along or cut ties. The line between real and fake had blurred, but external forces might rip the entire facade apart and cast them both as fools in the court of public opinion. They met at a quiet cafe near the Embarcadero, away from paparazzi. Logan arrived first, eyes ringed with fatigue. Rachel joined him, anxiety etched on her face. He began, "You saw the article?" She nodded, feeling tears threaten. "Yes." "My phone's blowing up with messages from random acquaintances asking if I'm some paid companion. I can't handle this intrusion." Logan exhaled heavily. "I'm sorry. I never intended such exposure. My plan was a single dinner. Now it's spiraled out of control. My advisors say we can either confirm or deny. If we confirm, we look cheap. If we deny, they'll say we're lying. We're stuck." Rachel weighed in. "What if we do a joint statement clarifying that I do have a background in knowledge from reading that you saw potential, and yes, I was initially hired, but it's grown into a genuine partnership? Or is that too personal?" She spoke with a soft hope that the truth might not be so damning. He gave a humorless chuckle. "That's bold, but maybe the only honest route. My PR team will cringe, though." A hush fell. The question was, are we actually a real couple? Or remain business associates in a forced story? Rachel gently placed her hand over his. "If you want me to vanish, say the word. I'll do it. But part of me feels we share something more now. I'm not a replaceable actor. I'm a person who truly admires your mission. And I might have feelings for you." She half laughed with tears brimming. "Crazy, I know." His eyes softened. "Same here. The fiasco forced me to see you. But to continue, we must face the media storm with honesty." They parted with a vow to craft a public statement no longer hiding behind illusions. The biggest dinner fiasco was only the beginning. Now they braced for the reaction to their confession. The next day, a press release from Pierce Innovations landed in journalists' inboxes. Titled, "A Clarification on Ms. Rachel Morales' Role," it outlined that Rachel was first approached for a one-time arrangement to attend a corporate dinner. However, it also stated that her insights led to a new collaborative partnership, and that the personal bond between them had evolved in sincerity. The statement admitted the initial arrangement, but underlined Rachel's competence, not some shallow decoration. Immediately, online chatter exploded. Some praised Logan's honesty, seeing it as a modern twist on Cinderella. Others blasted him for hiring a girlfriend, moralizing about power dynamics. The coverage was relentless. Meme pages posted comedic angles, while some mainstream media recognized the nuance. Rachel's intelligence overshadowed the initial premise. Rachel, holed up in her apartment, read comments that varied from supportive to cruel. She found comfort in messages from a few acquaintances cheering her. Logan visited her that evening, bringing takeout, both reeling from the intense scrutiny. Over dinner, they scrolled through coverage, wincing at the extremes. Yet they realized the truth was out. No more secrets. The unexpected silver lining: many philanthropic circles admired Rachel's story of self-education, prompting calls from non-profits wanting to collaborate with her on bridging social gaps. Meanwhile, certain business circles regarded Logan with fresh curiosity. He had the humility to adopt an unorthodox approach, even if messy. The housekeeper turned girlfriend turned advisor. Narrative overshadowed cynics. Some investors shrugged, reaffirming deals. The immediate crisis tempered. Finally, as the night wore on, the two recognized they'd weathered the worst. They parted ways with a quiet embrace, acknowledging the swirl hadn't broken them. The question remained how to move forward in a relationship bridging two different worlds: wealthy CEO and the self-taught woman who refused to be an accessory. In the following weeks, life stabilized. Rachel accepted a formal consulting role at Pierce Innovations, focusing on community outreach and bridging technology's benefits to underprivileged neighborhoods, a cause dear to her. She also balanced the blossoming personal relationship with Logan, though they navigated it carefully, wary of public cynicism. Some staff in the company found her presence odd, but Logan's endorsement stifled protests. Colton Mallory, who had once been a suspicious rival, surprisingly reached out to congratulate them for the straightforward approach. "You neutralized the scandal by embracing it," he quipped, half respectful. Meanwhile, Morgan and Adler officials extended an invitation for Rachel to speak at a minor corporate event about authentic diversity in business, a testament to the improbable star she'd become. Logan and Rachel's nights sometimes found them quietly cooking in his penthouse, discussing future expansions or her father's health. She used part of her new salary to ensure her father's medical treatments advanced in Tijuana. The swirl of negativity that once threatened her had receded, replaced by cautious acceptance from the city's social circles. The Redwood Room fiasco was overshadowed by a new narrative: the housekeeper turned advisor, forging a path that defied standard elitism. One evening, as they strolled along the Embarcadero, breathing the bay's salty air, Logan gently asked, "Are we truly a real couple now, or does the contract overshadow us?" She took his hand. "We started as a contract, but we overcame it with honesty. I'd like to see where this leads for real." He squeezed her hand. Heart warmed. For the first time in ages, Logan felt a sense of genuine partnership, something money alone could never buy. The future was uncertain, but at least it was their own, forging free from hidden agendas. Just as calm settled, a fresh test emerged. A high-stakes investor summit in Silicon Valley, hosted by Morgan Stanley, soared on the horizon. Logan's next big product unveiling, Project Aurora, would be presented to a global audience of tech giants. The entire city buzzed about it. If successful, it'd catapult Pierce Innovations into the upper echelons, rivaling even Apple's or Google's expansions. But swirling rumors said certain old-school investors were skeptical of Logan's leadership after the fake girlfriend scandal. They doubted his seriousness. The presence of Rachel, a figure once labeled as a hired partner, might reignite controversy if not handled carefully. Logan weighed options: keep her away to avoid stirring old controversies, or let her stand by him, symbolizing transparency and progress. Rachel, sensing the tension, insisted she wouldn't overshadow the product's spotlight. She offered to remain in the background or skip the event if it helped. Logan, recalling her unwavering loyalty and the personal vow to treat her as an equal, decided otherwise. "No, you'll come with me. You're part of my team now." That statement sealed their solidarity. Nerves flared the morning of the summit. They arrived at the Grand Conference Hall near Redwood City, where cameras and journalists thronged. Inside, sleek booths displayed cutting-edge AI demos, robotic arms, futuristic VR sets. On the main stage, Logan prepared to deliver his keynote. Rachel hovered behind the scenes, providing last-minute clarifications on community adoption angles. She knew a final question might surface about their personal saga and whether it overshadowed business. With a resolute heart, she braced for that inevitable test, determined to stand firm by Logan's side and prove that sincerity can triumph over staged illusions. The hush of anticipation filled the auditorium as Logan Pierce stepped on stage, crisp slides behind him, showcasing Project Aurora, a revolutionary platform melding AI, real-time data, and eco-friendly design. The crowd, composed of prominent venture capitalists, tech journalists, and global partners, sat riveted. He explained how Aurora could transform smart cities, boosting environmental efficiency. Applause rippled at intervals. As the keynote concluded, the MC opened the floor for questions. One journalist rose, Mr. Pierce, besides Aurora's technical marvel. "How do you address concerns about your recent personal controversies? The fake girlfriend rumors might question your credibility." A hush fell. Logan inhaled. Rachel observed from the side wings, heart pounding. Logan responded, voice steady. "I stand by Aurora's merits. As for personal controversies, we addressed them. My partner, Rachel Morales, initially joined me through an unconventional arrangement, but her authenticity and insights have shaped our outreach goals profoundly. She's now part of our leadership, bridging real-world challenges and corporate solutions. Our relationship is real, built on shared values, not a marketing stunt." Murmurs and camera flashes. The tension soared. Then the MC turned to Rachel. "Miss Morales, anything to add?" Surprising, even. "Logan." Rachel stepped forward. Under the bright lights, she calmly spoke of how technology must serve all communities, not just the affluent, a theme she'd pressed from the Redwood Room fiasco onward. Her sincerity resonated. The crowd erupted in applause. Some cynics remained, but many recognized the passion in her words. Moments later, they concluded the Q&A with resounding support. The next day's headlines splashed Pierce Innovations shines at Summit. CEO's controversial partner is actually the force behind new inclusive approach. The shift in narrative was sealed. In the aftermath, Logan and Rachel walked hand in hand outside the Redwood City sun bright overhead. Their improbable journey from a one-night hired girlfriend to a genuine partnership came full circle, proving that authenticity, once revealed, could outshine cynicism. The dinner that started it all now felt a lifetime away, overshadowed by the brilliance of a bond forged in truth and mutual respect. So ended the extraordinary saga of how Rachel Morales, a humble housekeeper scraping by in San Francisco, entered a high-stakes contract to be Logan Pierce's girlfriend at a pivotal corporate dinner. What began as a calculated facade swiftly morphed into a life-altering journey for them both. Rachel's intelligence and earnest spirit demolished the cynical illusions surrounding her supposed role. Meanwhile, Logan, shaped by old insecurities, discovered genuine respect and affection in the very person he'd first viewed as a mere convenience. Their improbable alliance, tested by scandal, blossomed into real partnership, spanning corporate innovation and heartfelt compassion for the underprivileged. As onlookers marveled at the paid girlfriend-turned-executive, Rachel's authenticity stood triumphant, helping Logan's empire transcend hollow PR stunts. If this uplifting drama struck a chord, please share it broadly and subscribe to our channel. Every viewer fuels more stories celebrating the power of sincerity, unmasking illusions, and forging true bonds in unexpected places.